Guess which movie we just saw. Little dudes. All right, so let's start off with our opinions of the movie.
To be honest, my opinion of the movie, it was for me the second best Tom Holland Spider-Man movie.
My opinion, the first. It's I like a grounded Spider-Man story, and this was definitely I had expectations going in that it was gonna be a grounded story, and it was. I think if you
Spoiler alert!
Spoiler alert. Yeah, it was grounded. I liked it. A lot of people were saying from the trailer that it was gonna be all over the place because we had the Scorpion, we had the Hand, we had the whole Man Spider. People were thinking debacle going on, Hulk, and then obviously, of course, Jean Grey, which we're gonna get into how hyped I was seeing her in this movie. Of course, it was maybe to be predicted because Sadie Singh's, Ginger, she was gonna play in the character. Which other characters in Marvel that we haven't seen yet in the MCU are Ginger? I think the most iconic one then is Jean Grey. So I'm really glad with the casting. It was a very good casting.
Yep.
I was a little bit hesitant because I know her of Stranger Things, and I had that idea of her in my head. I think how that she was this young kid. I couldn't really see her, like, separate her from her character from Stranger Things. But amazing actor, she did an amazing job. Hats off to her. Hats off to Tom Holland.
There were some scenes in the movie where, like the scenes where she was in the forest and stuff, that took me back to Stranger Things, especially like season 4. Like the scenes she had at the cemetery, it took me back to like that moment. But the outfits are complete different hairstyles, so I could place them apart like two different characters. And I saw her as Jean Grey, so yeah, I think that's a good thing.
I think it's also a really good decision because Sadie Sink overall is very young. Jean Grey is an iconic character linked with amazing storylines revolving just
a lot of opportunities.
So there's a lot of opportunities, so I'm really glad they really hit the nail. But I don't think the MCU ever had a bad casting, in my personal opinion. They have arguably one of the best castings. If we're talking about live action, I think in whole fiction, MCU is definitely up there.
Yep.
I think Tom Holland, you could argue in the beginning it was a bad casting because he doesn't really look like Peter Parker, which I could see. Just top of my head, Robert Downey Jr. Amazing casting.
Yeah,
maybe
casting. The best casting in all of the MCU.
In my opinion, it is. And then Steve Rogers, of course, I forgot his name.
Chris Evans, dude.
Chris
it's
Evans.
My favorite character from Scott Pilgrim.
Chris Evans, amazing casting as well. I think Chris Evans was also really good as Captain America. But let's not get sidetracked over here.
No, let's talk about the movie.
Let's talk about the movie. Okay, so
now,
let's start off.
First things first, it was, like I say, it's my second most favorite Spider-Man movie. My first goes out to the last one. We got 3 Spider-Mans. We saw my Tom Holland Spider-Man movie. My favorite Spider-Man movie is The Amazing Spider-Man. But Tom Holland Spider-Man, this is definitely my second favorite movie because the first one is the other one where we had, like the last one, where we had the 3 Spider-Mans. No Way Home. Forgot the name. That was my favorite, but this one's second favorite. It was really good. Like, to start off, the fighting really felt like the Spider-Man games for me. Like,
yes,
all the fight scenes, all the, like, not even only the fight scenes, also the web swinging scenes, and like it just felt like I was watching someone playing through the game. Like, he was getting a mission, then he had to do that mission. It was very close combat, which I like.
Yes.
We haven't seen Tom Holland
very
in
streety.
close. Yeah, it was not. We haven't seen Tom Holland in close combat yet.
No, and what I also the thing I liked, if we're going to start off with the thing I like the most, I would have to say one of the big things is his suit.
Yeah.
I think one of my biggest critiques for Tom Holland Spider-Man is that he doesn't have an iconic suit.
Yeah.
He's always switching in between suits in movies. No Way Home was, although it's an amazing movie, it's definitely one of the best Spider-Man movies we've ever seen. The Inside Out suit was not needed, was purely made to sell toys.
Yeah.
Same with most of his suits, and that's really disappointing. Because I think one of the biggest things that make a good Spider-Man is a good suit.
Yeah, this suit also maybe my second favorite suit. I think favorite suit of all the Spider-Mans, live action Spider-Mans.
It is my second favorite.
Yeah, my favorite would be Amazing Spider-Man 1.
Yes, I agree with that. I agree with that too.
That is
That's
why I call it twin.
That's why it's good. I think Amazing Spider-Man 1 a lot of people don't like it, but I love.
It's the best suit. It is the best suit.
I love the yellow lenses. Editor, put up polyester edit right above me. All right, but I think that I really liked how the concept was really just a guy making a Spider-Man suit out of his own material, sports equipment, which I really like.
What my only critique on this movie, maybe I'm in the wrong for this. Spider-Man, like Tom Holland, has a lot of expensive like stuff to make his gear.
I agree.
How he has like a big apartment in New York City, all this stuff to make his gear. How can he pay this? We never heard anything about like a job. Like,
That's true.
I was thinking maybe he got some like money from Aunt May's life insurance or something, but we never hear something about how he makes his money. And it's not like, you know, in most Spider-Man movies or like depictions of Spider-Man, he's late paying rent and you get like a notice from, hey, pay your rent. But in this movie, nothing said about his money, and that's like, it threw me off. It just kind of ruined the realism of the movie, I guess. I mean, it's a superhero movie. There is no realism.
That's true.
It
but
kind of ruins the
think,
realism in universe.
I do agree. Because yes, I do agree. Because if we look back at the end scene of No Way Home, he gets into his apartment, and it's just completely empty. The thing is, we don't even ever see him like doing any sort of like work because at this point
he's constantly Spider-Man,
yes.
and he never gets money for being Spider-Man. He gets like thanked. I'm walking it. I'm walking it. He gets thanked, and people applaud him for being Spider-Man, but he doesn't earn money as Spider-Man. So just a bit not that realistic for me.
It's definitely in my opinion the best Tom Holland movie that we've had. I like it because it's grounded. I like everything about it. I like the little end credit scene with Ned, and I was so hyped when I saw that scene of the outer space.
Yeah, the post credit scene where
scene.
you saw like something Spider-Man related in space, and we at the same time go, it must be symbiote. People behind us were saying, it's Miles Morales, bro.
Fuck nah, I ain't trying to hear all that. I'm not trying to hear all that.
He be in
I
space,
am not trying to hear all that.
Why would he be in space?
I do like Miles
My
Morales.
top 4 movies of all time. One of them is a Spider-Man movie. It's not a live action. It's Across the Spider-Verse. Yeah, it's my favorite Spider-Man.
Good.
One of my favorite animated movie. I will say it's my favorite animated movie of all time.
I think a lot of people agree with you on that one.
And you know, like, I care about Miles Morales, okay, but I care about him in that universe. In like our universe and our like MCU Avengers timeline we're at right now, I wouldn't really care for Miles Morales. I would rather see Moon Knight, which is my favorite character in like Marvel. I would rather see Moon Knight shine on the big screen than Miles Morales at this point. Like, he has his own movies. Like, he doesn't need to be like, maybe in the future. I would love him in the future. I would love to see a live action Miles Morales. Like, a team up between 2 Spider-Man would be awesome. But like, at this moment, at this time, there are many other things that need to be done first.
I do also agree. I think it was good that we're not introducing Miles Morales. I think if we're looking how we would theoretically get introduced to Miles Morales, I think it would be a little bit more like the comics, to where Miles Morales from the alternate universe Ultimate Spider-Man released in 2000. Basically, he was in that universe. I think they're maybe going to try and do something like that, whereas there's like a different alternate universe that's kind of connected, same as like, for example, Deadpool v Wolverine, where Wolverine, it's like a connected universe, sort of, with like the MCU being the 616 timeline of that particular exterior universe. I think it's going to be something like that. An example from that we already have, you might not know this, but in The Flash, there's an episode where he tests out his new Tachyon device, and he goes, and there's a purple video of that right now, where he goes through a portal because he's a Tachyon enhancer, and he goes to a different universe where he meets Supergirl, and we see how in the Supergirl series how he, you know, interacts with her and stuff like that, and she's a recurring character in the Flash show. She comes back to I forgot the episode name, but when the aliens invaded, she comes back.
That will be that is what I agree with that.
I think that would be
what Miles Morales should be in our. Damn, that's a really good take, actually.
I know my comics.
That's a really good take.
I appreciate that, man. I appreciate that, man.
Like, I was thinking first, like, maybe we should get to know Miles Morales, like, you know, through his dad, since in like there are some Spider-Man like media where I know it from the games personally, like where we get to meet Miles through his dad, through Officer Davis.
Yes.
And I would love to see it like that, like. I would love to see Spider-Man talk to Officer Davis in one of the movies, hinting towards Miles Morales being there. Yeah, you know, the way he said it sounds cooler to me. Like, now that I've heard it, it may be way cooler.
That, man. Making me blush. I think that would be a really good example for his character, because although this movie definitely rounded out Tom Holland's Spider-Man character, fully, making him beating the Anthony Stark Jr. allegations, Iron Man Jr. allegations,
Yeah.
being his own hero,
Yeah.
having like no support.
He definitely
besides-
was. This was the
yeah.
first movie where Spider-Man really was, Tom Holland Spider-Man really was his own hero.
The main headline.
Yeah.
Don't have superpowers.
But
Black-
both are like more vigilantes
Yes.
than superheroes.
You can argue with Yelena that she has superpowers to an extent, but it's not like
Yeah.
other iterations of Black Widow where she's, for example, immortal or something like that. Editor, pull up a video of pull up a video of Messi doing the emote. Pull it up right here above me. Editor, pull up a video of. Okay, now pull a picture. Let it follow my hand.
I am the editor and I can do all this shit, so don't even challenge me, dog.
Editor, give me green skin for the rest of this video. When I snap my face, give me blue skin.
Talking about, you know what, green skin, we haven't talked about the Hulk,
We haven't talked about Hulk.
who is a pretty big part of this movie.
Yeah, he is. It's actually, when I was on the way back, I was thinking about with the Hulk. I liked how he was introduced. Nothing really bad to say about it. The fight. I liked. I think a lot of people maybe be complaining about it because it wasn't that super long or thought out.
And a lot of people were thinking like the Hulk would remember Peter Parker, which he did in some extent. Like you had like the scene where the Hulk stopped fighting when Spider-Man said, "It's me, your friend, Peter Parker." So he kind of does remember, but for the rest of the movie, the Hulk falls, he gets taken with an ambulance, and we don't hear anything about it. Which, you know, Spider-Man has his own trouble, but I would love to get some closure on that. Maybe we'll get it eventually,
Yeah.
but yeah.
I agree. Though there's a thing related to the Hulk that I wanted to talk about. Jean Grey. Jean Grey doing mind control. She got rejected by Spider-Man. I thought at first, because he has an advanced brain with his arachnid powers.
They didn't give a reason for it.
They didn't give a reason
There was
why
no single
the
reason.
Hulk did, why Bruce did. Maybe because of Bruce.
But you know,
Because-
you're saying just now, Spider-Man can ignore her due to his arachnid powers, but when his arachnid powers take over, he can't ignore her. So only Peter Parker can ignore her. But why is that?
Why is
There's
that?
nothing said about it.
Because at its core, Banner and Spider-Man are almost exactly the same how they got their powers through a third party. They're not born with it like a mutant.
Yep.
If they would have said a mutant would, that would be a completely new idea, but it would make sense more than the Hulk not being controlled and Peter Parker not being controlled or being
Yep.
resisted anyway.
Last thing I want to talk about is the scene where MJ remembered Peter Parker, but spoiler alert, it wasn't MJ, it was Jean Grey.
Are we gonna count? That is low-key a little weird. I
To
was
kiss him and to say, "Oh my God, Peter, I remember you." Why? You know, she knows how much MJ means to Peter. So why would she do that? If she's
yeah.
looking for her sister,
I think
if she know how bad Peter probably got hurt, why would she do that?
I think it's really weird and a little cruel in my opinion. And even after the end of the movie, I think it was a little step too far.
Yep.
If it was a little bit like, oh, they're safe and stuff, and then she switches, perfectly fine. You know, after they're swinging when they're like sitting down and stuff. Excuse me.
Excuse me, sir.
But and then I put up a video of that video right now. Just in general, I don't know. It was just weird because even after we got the explanation why she's quote unquote villain, is because of her sister. I don't know how that correlates with her like basically doing
Doing a lot of
so
weird
cruel.
stuff, like being so cruel. Yeah.
Being so cruel to Spider-Man, who at this point she didn't know about the inhibitor chip that he created. I mean, did she? I don't think she did at that
They
point.
haven't
You know?
told her, no.
They didn't
But
tell her.
like,
No.
and she was pretty rude. Like even when Spider-Man came back and like was saying, "Yo, I'm just trying to help you. I get it. I was wrong." She didn't even consider. She was just like full on trying to kill him.
But I think that's a little bit more like understandable because she heard that people say, "Oh yeah, we made the inhibitor chip."
Yeah.
So like another inhibitor that I think it's an inhibitor chip.
Yeah, it was something like that.
It's basically to suppress the powers. That's what I'm talking about. And that was, I think, then I could understand it. But before that, just way too cruel for someone
Yeah.
who isn't even a villain. In her eyes, she's
Yeah.
not a villain. She's just she's just trying to see where her sister went. And
Yeah.
I think the VMAX thing was incredibly well handled. I thought the VMAX thing, I thought they were gonna make.
Yeah,
Like-
I thought that was a new character we would find out about, but
I thought it was gonna be something like The Boys, where it's like a super serum or something like that.
Yeah.
But no, it ended up being, when she looked
The
up, it was
Fab.
just Vent Max.
which like I think like Jean being so cruel to Spider-Man led up to like one of the most beautiful scenes for me in the entire movie, where we get like Jean seeing Spider-Man's memories with Aunt May, her hugging with Spider-Man, going into one of the most powerful scenes, being Spider-Man getting shot and
Yes.
surviving, and people shouting for him, and he's in the crowd while Frank, the Punisher, is wearing his suit.
I also
And yeah, he saw the people were cheering for him, and that was the moment he decided, I'm not going to do this alone anymore. And yeah, was one of the most powerful scenes for me in the entire movie.
It got me a little emotional
Yeah,
because
I was crying. I was definitely
it
crying.
reminded me of a certain scene. I'm not gonna tell you because it's a spoiler.
Oh, bro, I'm gonna.
but
It's invincible, isn't it?
It's not. No, it's not invincible.
Oh,
but
okay.
it's something. The people will know. People will know if I mean, if they know. Does he know? I don't know if people know what I'm talking about.
Does he know?
But it's similar to a certain thing that happens in a certain comic that is that is related to Spider-Man. If people understand what I'm saying. But yeah. It's a spoiler for you, so I can't say it.
Okay.
But it reminded me of that, and also I really liked. I don't know if it was an homage, but there was a scene where Frank gets Peter in the hospital.
Yeah.
I think it is like a sort of like a homage to the panel where Frank rescues Peter during the Civil War. Editor, pull
Could
up
be.
the photo. Pull the photo right here. I think it might be. Editor, pull up the photos too here beside. See if it's
Gonna
I
give me
might
a
be
lot of
tweaking,
work
but-
here.
Yeah, you're getting a lot of work. Editor, make my skin red. All right, now my skin is red. Editor, edit skeleton walking past the screen.
Okay, but to round things up, out of 5, what would you rate this movie?
5 is a little more difficult, but I said to you in the movie when you were
No, rate it on 10. You can rate it on 10.
If it wasn't a 10, I would give it a solid 8.5.
Yeah, that's
I
valid.
think it was a really good movie.
I would also say 8, like 8.5 each, about right there.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think this was really good. I was a little nervous because what if this movie flops? What if it's
Yeah.
not a good movie? Then we
I
just
was
had
also really
then
scared
we
of
just
it.
had this entire trilogy built up for nothing.
All
Really-
this hype,
yeah.
like the hype over the last months for a new Spider-Man movie coming out was really huge, and then all this hype would have been for nothing. But it was a solid 8.5 out of 10. Yeah, I agree with that.
I think very good acting from
Yeah.
from Zendaya, Tom Holland, and
Yeah.
all the other people involved.
Indeed. Very good
Amazing,
movie.
amazing acting,
Yeah.
amazing visuals. People were complaining in the trailer about the AI looking parts where it's just like a still. In the movie itself, it doesn't look that bad
No.
because it's a montage.
Yeah.
And I think people were thinking, oh, it's just gonna be like mid-movie, like an actual
No.
movie scene. No, it's actually just a montage.
Like
showing
for
that,
being
yeah.
for being VFX, like at sometimes it fell a bit off, but overall it was solid.
Yeah.
It was
If
good
I-
enough.
If I have to think about it, I think that really stuck with me VFX wise. It was the scene where he puts his phone in his pocket and he goes down. When he swings, you can hear like the air rippling around him, the fabric rippling around him, and it just felt really surreal.
Yeah.
Especially for my first swinging scene that I was gonna see in the cinema. Because fun fact, it's my first Spider-Man movie that I've actually seen in the cinema. So I was really excited for the first swinging scene, and I was not disappointed. I was definitely not disappointed. It reminded me a lot of Amazing Spider-Man 2. From his swinging style, more so climbing on webs and stuff, and
Yep.
I really liked it. it.
I would really want to thank you guys for watching. If you guys want to see more like movie content or like videos with this guy, leave it down below in the comments.
Drop down below.
Thank you to my big friend Toast over here for making this video with me.
Yeah,
Thank you guys for watching.
I'm really glad I could be
Yeah.
a part of this journey with him. I'm very proud of him. 100 subs already as we're recording right now. I think it must be more by the time it gets uploaded, but yeah.
Yeah.
I appreciate everyone who watched this.
Thank you.
Big
And
enough.
yeah, we'll see you in the next one. Bubble and Toast out.